I give the CIA a total credit for sponsoring and initiating the entire consciousness movement, counterculture events of the 1960s.
Welcome to another episode of Rise to Liberty. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful Friday. It is finally the end of the week, so this is how we are going to end the week of Rise to Liberty broadcasts. So, first and foremost, I would just like to say thank you all for tuning in to another episode. But head on over to the Rise to Liberty master link. Let's see, that's not the normal one. There we go. There's the normal one. This is where you can find me. This is where you can find my contact information, an email contact, anyways. All of the places to donate. It says donate/subscribe. I am working on a subscription model, the best I can possibly offer while giving the most bang for your buck. Is where you can find risetoliberty.store, all the places, all the things, the audio platforms, all these things. So make sure and go check that out for sure. But let's see, what I wanted to start tonight's show with was actually just a post that I found as I was out retweeting my show for the evening. This this is insane to me. So for all the blind viewers, I don't know who this person is. This is an X post or Twitter post. It says, all I know is I hope if I'm ever assassinated in front of thousands, my wife doesn't become a WWE superstar just a few months later. So let's play this 19-second video real quick. What the fuck is this? What is this? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute that. So this is Erica Kirk taking the stage at some Turning Point USA event, it looks like. Man, is anyone buying this? Like, I mean, think what you want about whatever happened to Charlie. Obviously, I don't believe the FBI in anything that they've said or any of the law enforcement officials. I do not believe the official story. I have my theory, but I don't know what happened. I ain't buying this. This is absurd. This is insane. I mean, my personal opinion is she saw an opportunity after Charlie died to further her career. You know, fine. She's a grieving widow, whatever. I don't care. I care what I see. And what I see is a grieving widow, a grieving mother, taking every opportunity she possibly can to further her career. I also saw a report. I don't know how true this is. Let's see. In fact, let me just pull up X real quick and see if I can find anything about this. So there was allegedly Erica Kirk was allegedly sliding into people's DMs, like after, let's see, Erica Kirk sliding into people's DMs after Charlie passed away. Let's see, TMZ, I think, was one of the reporters on it. I'll just sliding into DMs. See if anything comes up for this. Let's see. What the fuck is this? This is not what we're going to be covering on tonight's show, but this is kind of a cold open. What the fuck is this really her? I hope this is not her. I mean, it kind of looks like her, but you can't really see her face, so I don't know. I'm going to say no. Wait. Oh, is that her? What the fuck is this? No, that doesn't look like her. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I heard, like I said, I'm not gonna say that it's true, but allegedly she was like sliding into like famous actors DMs. Let's see. Let's just do Erica Kirk TMZ. Sorry to take you guys on this side tangent here. I just think this whole thing is so weird. One Miss Arizona 2012, a Trump-owned pageant, which is weird. She then became casting director and started multiple nonprofits, orphanages, which is weird also, including Romanian Angels, which is weird. Yeah, all of this stuff is weird. The symbolism with this stuff is crazy. Just wild. Just went full deep state script on Fox News, and I am now 1000% convinced she's part of the cover up. Let's see, how old is this? Let's see, December 10th, so 9 days ago. Let's see what this is.
Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do.
A mind virus.
We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French.
A hell of a team. Excuse my French. Whoa! Watch out, everyone. She's cussing up a storm. This is weird. Oh, not only is Erica Kirk, a Miss USA contestant, perhaps implicated in that was an old post. Yeah, this I'm not buying this. Are you guys buying this nonsense? Thank you very much. I'm actually working right now on I'm going to be redoing my MKUltra one, the one that we started this show with. It's going to be the same thing. I'm just adding to it and improving it is all. Also, I'm working on finishing another, and there's going to be some improvements is all I'm saying. Hello, everyone. Eyebrow guy again, Michael Aquino. And yes, holy hell, the eyebrows. I still don't understand it. He made that as like a personal choice, like a fashion choice. Like, I don't, what? Okay. Hello, Huggy Bear, indeed. What is she wearing? A gold sequin suit? Yeah, exactly. It's like a, I mean, once again, I don't understand this. I don't get why she's wearing this like these insane outfits. I don't know. It's all very showy. I don't believe it. That had a very Scientology feel to it, in my opinion. All the pomp and circumstance. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Very, very Scientology-esque. these aren't real tears, though, you know. Operation Mockingbird 2.0. She's obviously an agent. I agree. He's not buried anywhere. You know, I heard that. I wasn't quite sure. I don't know what to believe anymore, especially with this story. I mean, are we even sure he's dead? You know, I'm pretty sure he's dead. But I'm just saying, like, at this point, with as crazy as everything is, do we really know? You know? It's my belief that he is. But if it turned out he wasn't, I wouldn't be gasping shocked, is all I'm saying. Didn't she say he wasn't buried? Yeah, I think. I don't know. Yeah, her and Candace both, for sure. Hopefully everyone here has been catching Dana Duda, Rotting Jewels. Hopefully everyone's been catching her work on Candace Owens. I'm sure she's ready to lay that to rest for now, though. But yeah, hopefully everyone's been catching that work. Absolutely amazing. I have absolutely no idea about any of this. Nothing in Christian culture or any part of the culture, for that matter, makes sense anymore. I agree for the most part. I mean, with her, I don't understand the whole Shabbat Shalom thing. Like, where did that come from? I disagree with, you know, here's a little soapbox real quick. The whole Judeo-Christian thing, I completely disagree with that. They are two separate beliefs. I understand the rationale behind the Judeo-Christian thing, but I completely disagree that we should be calling it Judeo-Christian or Judeo-Christianity. No, it's just Christianity, in my opinion. We're just Christians. We're not Judeo-Christians or whatever. I completely reject that. And so, yeah, the whole Shabbat Shalom thing that she was talking about, Charlie coming home on a weekend or whatever, I don't know. It's just, all of it's weird. It's all weird. I watched it. It was weird. Yeah, this whole thing is weird. TPUSA promotes Christian nationalism, which isn't Christian at all. Yeah, I mean, not really. So I think there can be an argument made for Christian nationalism from a Christian perspective. I think I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. I'm not even just making a statement at all. I think that there can be an argument made for it. Whether that's right or wrong is a different discussion. But whatever TPUSA is promoting is like weird, like weird Schofield Christian. It's not true Christianity, in my opinion. So regardless of the nationalism part, it's I disagree with the type of Christianity that they're promoting. She emphasized, we are all in this because they're all in on it. I agree. Yeah. The world is a stage. They're merely actors, and you are the captive audience. I agree with that. That's the whole, let's see. Let's see if TMZ. Let's see. Kirk. That's the whole William Colby thing, you know. As soon as Americans or as soon as everything that Americans believe is false, then we'll know that our disinformation campaign worked. Or, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but the point is the same. Let's see here. Latest. There we go. As President Trump thrashes Rob Reiner following his murder, a reminder of how Reiner responded on my show to the murder of Charlie Kirk. Interesting. How did he respond? I'm not one for this whole like celebrity gossip stuff, but I am curious real quick.
I say 2 + 2 is 4, and the other person says 2 + 2 is Thursday. There's no real way to have a discussion. You can't talk to people who don't acknowledge certain realities.
What the hell is this music? Calling his supporters. Okay, I don't understand what this music is. No, see, free speech and Jimmy Kimmel comparing Trump, blah, blah, blah. Google, blah, blah, blah. Kamala Harris, Democrats. Who cares? Okay. I thought that was going to be more fruitful. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's see. Candace Owens and Erica Kirk shared an update. I think that whole thing is weird. I think that the meeting, okay, those two meeting, I don't think shows that they're both compromised. I do think the outcome of that shows it, Let's see. Tyler Robinson. This was on the 11th.
We'll see if that was a mistake.
Just a death.
40 times.
This woman right here, where you can see the back of her head, this woman, the fact that she is on Tyler Robinson's defense team, this is what is her first name? Christine, I believe. Miss Nader. She is a lawyer here in Salt Lake City. I have personally met her before on something completely unrelated to this. But I have met her in person. She is an amazing lawyer. She's also, I will confidently say she is not compromised. Is she compromised now? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. The reason why is she has spent her entire career doing nothing but fighting for not social justice, but civil rights. She has done nothing but fought for like genuine civil rights. It's what she cares about. She doesn't have a family that they can, she does have family, but she doesn't have like a husband and kids and stuff that they can use against her to like flip her or turn her. Now, I could be wrong about it. And also anyone could eventually be changed, but based upon what I know, she's not. Now, that doesn't mean that anyone else on his team isn't. But this woman right here, Miss Nader, I trust her. So I'll just say that. Let's see. And all the fake to imagine there is probably nobody in that room except for a handful of people. Yeah. It's very Vatican. Lots of gold. Yes. I don't know either. I agree. Don't take everything I say as personally directed towards you as speaking in general. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah, nobody should take anything directly personal. Definitely agree. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. RR channel is here. Good to see you, RR channel. See, nothing makes sense anymore at all. It's not at all Christian. I mean, it's so far from anything that looks normal from any point of view. I agree with this. Now, there's a reason to that. At least in my opinion, that there's a reason why nothing seems normal anymore. One of the biggest reasons, in fact, maybe we should talk about this tonight. Yandex.com. Yandex. I highly recommend Yandex as a search engine for anyone that does research or honestly just using the internet in general. I recommend Yandex. It is the Russian Google. So you get honest results. So there's my there's my pitch for Yandex for tonight. Let's see. Act. So there was such thing known as the Smith-Mundt Act, and it got repealed under Obama. It basically prevented the U.S. government from propagandizing the American people. Not that they didn't ever, because of that, but it was a lot more difficult for them to do so without getting caught. But as soon as Obama repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, it then became legal for not only the U.S. government, the intelligence agencies, but corporations, almost everybody. It became legal for them to propagandize direct to the American public. So because of that, I mean, it let's see. So it was repealed. Let's see. Let's just pull this up. Here it is. Okay. So the Smith-Mundt Act of 2012, the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. Let's see. I'll come back to your comment. Was a formal repeal of U.S. domestic dissemination of propaganda, described as public diplomacy information produced for foreign audiences. Domestic propaganda has been a standard practice for decades. See Operation Mockingbird. But the repeal allowed the effort to be ramped up. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. So they were obviously still propagandizing us. That's never going to change. Boom, 100% Judeo-Christian is an oxymoron. 100%. It cannot exist. It's a contradiction of terms. It's Christianity and it's Judaism. It can't be both. I loathe Candace. Honestly, I think she's entertaining. And I will say the one good thing that Candace has done has been that text message from Charlie, what was it, 2 days before, where he said that he has no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. I mean, that right there is amazing. Anything else, I don't really care. But that was good. And I'm not going to give her the full credit on that, but yeah, that's the one good thing I think that she's done. I think we should be talking like he actually said that. That was BS. That was BS. She said that. Yep. Candace is not. Well, I disagree. I think she is actually very intelligent. But the thing is she can definitely act dumb from time to time. You don't get to where you are with being a complete moron. Granted, it is based on nepotism, not, your level of intelligence. However, you've still got to be halfway intelligent to be able to run these propaganda campaigns and stuff. So, and she's not a complete idiot. She acts like an idiot, but I think that that's what the script says. Let's see. It's not a thing at all. It's not a Christian nationalism. It's not a thing we can't even talk like. It's going to be a thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a good discussion to have on a different episode, which we probably should talk about Christian nationalism at some point. Let's see. TPUSA and Fox are Vatican assets. And everything's kind of a Vatican asset if you really break it down. Let's see. Mockingbirds don't have to be intelligent, just pretty to look at. Right. I mean, she is easy on the eyes. They don't have to be intelligent. I do think Candace is intelligent. At least I mean, I don't think she's like a genius. I don't think she's probably of average intelligence is what I'll say. That's my personal opinion. She's of average intelligence. I believe in the separation of church and state. I agree. We should not live in a theocracy at all. That's one of many issues I have with Israel. Theocracies, I think, are dangerous. However, I do believe that that the United States is a Christian nation, and there's nothing wrong with a dominant religion. I'm going to say Christianity being that dominant religion. Christianity as kind of a like umbrella term. Honestly, it's even less important is the type of religion, more so important that we have a moral and ethical society. However we get that is basically what I support. But I do agree that we should not live in a theocracy, that it is entirely dangerous. And also, even though I think it should be a Christian nation, I don't agree with the theory of the Christian nationalism of the theocracy thing. I disagree with that. Yeah, so that's not something so basically I'm saying I agree with you. The separation of church and state is important. Haven't been able to catch anyone live in a little while. Well, I'm glad you were able to catch tonight's show. I started a little late, but I've been busy trying to get ready for Christmas. Hopefully everyone else is ready for Christmas. It's going to be a good year. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world and all over social media, of course, but I believe it's going to be a great Christmas this year, and I genuinely hope that all of you have a wonderful Christmas. Candace is a Roman Catholic. Yeah, and I have major issues with the Catholics. I apologize if anyone here in the audience is a Catholic. It's nothing personal, trust me. I have a problem with Catholics or Catholicism as a institution. But individual Catholics, I have no problem with you. Catholicism is pagan sun worship and has nothing to do with Christianity. Well, at least the modern iteration of it is. Ever since they split off from Orthodoxy, Orthodox Christian, it's not Christianity in my opinion. It is Roman Catholicism, which means it is the institution of one man. Julius Caesar had every intention of creating a one world religion, which is interesting because, Catholicism means universal. Catholicism, the Vatican, like all of these things, I think the people, the powers that be want Catholicism to be the one world religion, even though it doesn't look like it will play out that way because of other belief systems. They do want a one world religion. The Constitution was written on Christian values. No offense. No, this is 100% correct. This is why I believe that the basis of this country should be a Christian nation. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there's people out there that disagree. But once again, even more so, the most important aspect of this country, the only way that our country can function the way that it should, the way that our founding fathers intended, is if we have a moral and ethical society. And here's the thing, there is such thing as objective truth. So morality and ethics are objective, not subjective. They cannot be made up. The new age movements have really pushed this, like, morality is whatever you make it, and that's bullshit. That means that objective truth doesn't exist, and I completely reject that postmodern thinking. That is not true. Objective truth does exist. Right from wrong does exist. So yeah, the Constitution was written on on Christian values. Yeah, 100%. Protestants, I believe. Celebrities don't matter, but what is going on with them does, because it's proof of God, in my opinion, and it's definitely right and wrong. That's interesting that you think it's a proof of God. I'm not going to argue with you about that. I don't see it that way. I think being on this side of the aisle, it is interesting because if you watch celebrities, at least from afar, you can kind of tell what the regime is wanting, like what the regime is trying to do. Let's see if I can find an example. I mean, at one point in time, I genuinely cared more about, celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I was a lot younger, but now, I mean, once I learned that celebrity gossip is literally used to not only brainwash us, but to keep us occupied with other things and to influence everything that we do. I granted, when I'm saying that I was like interested in celebrity gossip, I was like 10 years old, way before my awakening into this type of stuff. So let's see. Grunge usually does some good stuff. Let's check this out real quick.
Many musicians have been accused of worshiping Satan. But were they just trying to sell records? Or is there some truth buried within the fiction? Now that Lady Gaga is considered a veteran and darling of the 21st century pop firmament, it is perhaps easy to forget that the clean-cut lead of A Star Is Born was considered a particularly risque performer at the start of her career, cultivating a freak art image that culminated in Gaga donning a dress purportedly crafted from raw meat to the MTV Video Music Grammys to perform their new single, Unholy.
Okay, so this is blatantly satanic. I don't know how you guys feel, but this is blatantly satanic, right? Sam Smith, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. This is blatantly satanic, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing. If there's one artist that does this sort of stuff, okay, fine. I can appreciate somebody doing or performing art, I guess. I can respect a musician choosing to do some sort of performance art, whether it's dark or light or whatever. But my opinion is like this stuff, he's not the only one doing it, right? Like, it's everyone. It's all of them. This is my problem with it. Like, what the fuck is that? Ted Cruz, get the fuck out of here. Like, what is this? Like, remember this? Lil Nas X with the music video? Like, I mean, he came out with that huge, like, country-esque song, and, like, little kids loved it and everything, and then he came out with the next, Old Town Road, that's right. He came out with Old Town Road, and then he came out with this, like, incredibly, salacious music video, this one where he's giving the devil a lap dance and stuff. I mean, this is once again blatantly satanic. And then right after that, when he was riding the wave of all the controversy on this, he comes out with his own sneaker that contained his own blood mixed with ink in the shoe itself. And then people will look at this sort of stuff and be like, it's just art. It's just art. Stop panicking. This is satanic panic. You're just panicking. Get the fuck out of here. I am so sick and tired of this. You're just panicking. This is just art. Look, I understand art. I get it. I really do. I am an artist. I have been an artist almost my entire life. I used to draw and sell portraits. In fact, I'm thinking about starting that again. There's you can find some artwork on my X account. Let's see here. In fact, maybe I should just bring some of it up real quick while we're talking about it. Oops. But like this stuff is blatantly satanic. Anything of pop music or hip hop, especially drill music. I don't know how familiar you guys are with drill music. Let's see. Let's see. I know I've posted some stuff on here before. Let's see. Here's one thing I've drawn. That's an old picture I drew forever ago. There's some, I'm sure there's some other drawings on here. I don't know. Not that it really matters. I'm just kind of having fun, but I understand art. I get it. I might not like it. I might disagree with it, but I get art is the point here. Come on. X is going so slow tonight. Servers must be busy. But the point is, like, I get art. There's tons of art out there that I do not like, especially nowadays. But I mean, this stuff. Okay, here we go. Here's a few more pieces I've done. There's a piece I drew. There's a piece I painted. You know, there's some other stuff. I'll share some other stuff later, but let's see. I don't know. It's just interesting. I mean, even Led Zeppelin is a good example. I think Led Zeppelin is a genuine satanic band. I think they were more used for that. I think they were shoved into it without really knowing what they were doing. Later on, I think they knew, but not right in the beginning. I think they were ignorant. They were tricked. Not giving them a pass. I'm just saying that I don't think they were like, hell yeah, we're overt Satanist in the beginning. Later on, they were. I mean, Jimmy Page bought Aleister Crowley's mansion. You know, he knew what he was doing at that point. But even back then, like the music and the stage shows and like all the stuff is just so different than what it is now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's, you know, I'm thinking about getting back into it. Just, I'm feeling the call. I'm feeling the creativity. And also, you know, art is propaganda and it can change the world. And I would love to release some propaganda from this side of the aisle. I think it's time we have a good artist putting some stuff out there. There's another person on X that puts out some, that pretends to be on our side of things, that puts out some art that I think is kind of shit. I'll be honest. If you know, you know. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But somebody who's good at art, I would like to see put out some, you know, some propaganda pieces from this side of the aisle of, you know, the parapolitical research and stuff, some pieces that make people think. So if I, or when I end up doing that, I will definitely let you guys know. But it's just the music now is just so bad. Well, not bad, but it's like so overt. It is so overt. Little Nas X, yeah. I'm trying to find a good example. I really, what I'm trying to find is like a super cut of like everyone, like clips from the concerts, and like I guess I make edits. I might as well just make one. Let's see. In fact, I'll make myself a note. Should do a pop music, rap music, Satanism edit. Whoops. There we go. Like, remember the Taylor Swift?
Let's get after it. In her most recent concert, Taylor Swift is performing witchcraft. And I know this is going to raise some
Okay, so I think that the reaction to this is kind of stupid and all, but look at her stage performance, right? Like, okay, once again, I understand art. I get it. But this is the largest pop star in the world right now. I mean, she has immense power over people. Also, well, I'll save that opinion for a minute. Wow, that's sort of in your face. Sorry about that. The cartoon testicles, that was weird. Anyways, it's just like everybody is blatantly satanic now. It used to be a little bit, like back in the 80s. I kind of understand why heavy metal back in the 80s went that direction. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand. And I think it was a lot more organic. Not everything. Once again, we never make absolute statements here. History of Satan worship at the Grammys. That's interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, Sam Smith. I mean, that's just, what the hell is going on there? Could you be any more blatant? This actually might be a good
Trez was asked what exactly inspired the Hellbent performance.
Anyways, like I said, I think a lot of stuff back in the 80s was a lot more organic. And it was a response to the Reagan White House. And also, I think some of it was definitely fabricated, right? They had to push the satanic panic narrative and stuff. So some of it was fabricated 100%. But it makes sense why it was like such a thing. Nowadays, I don't understand why it's a thing, which to me says it's more satanic. It's more like real Satanism, because there's no reason for it, right? Like it's not like a cultural response. I don't understand why everything is so satanic. It doesn't make sense why this is the
and performers
why
continue to push forth.
Why celebrities are doing this. It doesn't make sense to me. Immigrant Song. Yeah, I actually like Immigrant Song, although I can't stand Led Zeppelin. I've always been bothered by Led Zeppelin. They piss me off. I think they're completely overrated. Maybe I would feel different if I grew up in that generation. I don't like them, though. I think Jimmy Page dragged the rest of the band into Satanism. Yeah, I could agree with that. Jimmy Page, I think, definitely did know what he was doing further on into their career. Robert Plant is, I think he also knew. Now, allegedly, after Jimmy Page bought Aleister Crowley's mansion, apparently they performed a ritual in the mansion, and it resulted in the death of Jimmy Page's first son. But it also, the trade-off was that they were going to be at the band that they are, meaning that they are worldwide known. They will, the popularity of Led Zeppelin will never disappear because of the sacrifice, allegedly. Crowley ties for sure. Led Zeppelin, yeah, 100%. Janis Joplin went to high school with George Bush Sr. Interesting. I didn't know that. Janis was interesting. I think she was a useful idiot, and I hate to say that about her. I like Janis. I don't care for her music. She was a hell of a singer, though, but I think she just got used and abused, honestly. I'm late. I know. What up, y'all? You haven't missed much. I mean, hell, we're still not even into what I wanted to talk about. I've kind of gone off on a tangent here. So, I mean, you're showing up and haven't missed much. Kind of just going all over the place here. So there's no albums anymore. It's all singles. Yeah, and I think that's a result of streaming music. I mean, some of the bands I listen to release albums still. But I mean, the way you get discovered has completely changed, right? The way people discover new music is typically through TikTok or Instagram, which is weird. I pay for a Spotify premium account because I am able to discover new music super easy. That's the best thing I love about the platform. I have issues with the platform, but I can discover new music like nobody's business. And then, maybe I pirate some of it or don't, that's, I don't do that. I do not recommend that. I do not do that. Piracy is illegal and wrong. You would not steal a car. You would not download a song, right? Oh God, Madonna is, yeah, she's a great example too, especially with like the recent stuff, like she looked super weird out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, like not too long after that, she looked fine and also 30 years younger. Madonna has always been satanic in my opinion. Once again, that song, Like a Virgin, to me is a satanic song through and through. It is disgusting. It is degenerate. And it is meant to destroy the moral fiber of our society. Courtney and Lane mocked the Muzak establishment nonstop to the point where the establishment couldn't sign free thinkers anymore. Are you talking Courtney Love? Courtney Love, she's an interesting case. Some people allege Taylor Swift is in fact Anton LaVey. Well, it's not Anton LaVey's daughter. It's Zena LaVey, Anton's daughter. So Zena LaVey, Taylor Swift. I mean, I kind of believe it. Let's see. Let me find a good example. Here we go. Boom. Look at that shit. Like, I don't know, man. I don't believe a whole lot of this. Like, oh, this celebrity is this person. I do believe Barbara Bush, W's mother, George W. Sr. or George Bush Sr.'s wife. I do believe that she is the daughter of Aleister Crowley. I don't have anything to back that up. It's just a feeling. But so I don't believe a lot of this sort of stuff. However, this I believe. Once again, there's no evidence to back it up. It's just a gut feeling I'm having. But this one, wow. Like, holy shit. That is intense. But yeah, it's Zena LaVey that they believe is Taylor Swift's mom. Let's see what's going on.
From what they believe is old, rigid religion into a new wave of do what thou wilt in theory and practice.
Okay, so this is the basic or the basis of Satanism is do what thou wilt. Didn't people lose their memories at a Taylor Swift concert recently? So it wasn't just one concert, it was actually the entire tour. So the last tour she was on, people were spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tickets, and they would walk away from the concert not being able to remember anything at all. None of it. They remember getting there. They don't remember any of the show. And then they remember leaving. So yeah, that's weird, right? What sort of like mind control technology are they using there? Frequency technology. Like I don't know, but I mean, you've got a mass crowd of people there, all participating in the same thing, right? She's performing rituals on stage, which is clear. They're manifesting this energy out of people, and then because of the technology they use with the sound technology, there is absolutely zero possibility of them not manipulating people somehow. You cannot convince me that they are not using technology to brainwash or mind control people somehow. I mean, the technology exists and has for decades. But yeah, there are people not remembering the entire concert, which is insane. Gwar is an amazing band. I love Gwar. They're super silly. But they've had their issues, with drugs and stuff. It's sad. We now have commercial Satanism. Yeah, it's been completely mainstream. That I think that's what it is. It's mainstream.
Praising Satanism, one writer attempted to show how Satanism is indeed everywhere in our culture and how we got.
This is interesting. Tipper Gore from the what was it, the MPRC or whatever. I think she was a plant. I think she was used as a counter psyop. She was counter operations. I think that whole thing was used so that people would answer back in a very calculated way. Although the speech that Frank Zappa gave to Congress during the whole MPRC hearings, it was phenomenal. It was great.
To a place where worshiping Satan is now normative in the U.S. Quote, but how did we get to a point where an online magazine with 10 million monthly readers is hailing Satanists as last-ditch heroes?
Right.
The
That's
truth is,
Robert Plant's son. I stand corrected on that one. You're right on that.
That our modern sympathy for the devil has deep roots, and Americans, in particular, are highly susceptible. In the article, it documents how fictional books, such as Milton's Paradise Lost, fomented some of the hearts of the antinomian dissenters who pushed against religiosity and pendulum swung from Catholic dogma into the waiting arms of lawlessness, and even pushed against the law of Christ as a moral ethic for governing the true body of Christ. Lawrence Clarkson, an antinomian contemporary of Milton, even wrote in one 1640 pamphlet that sin is fake news. Quote, sin hath its conception only in the imagination. Therefore, So long as the act was in God or nakedly produced by God, it was as holy as God. As they say today, believe in yourself and you can do anything. A century after Milton, the antinomian celebration of self-expression accelerated in the Romantic era. The engraver and poet William Blake.
All right, so I am making a note of this, Uncle Ted. There's definitely a long list of ideas and stuff, but I am adding it to the idea list for an edit. Only because you are such a great patron and everything. I'll be honest, I can't stand Primus. It's one band I have always hated. I appreciate their musicianship. I get it. They are talented, and I understand how difficult it is, but I can't stand their music. But I will add this to the list because you are always here making great comments and stuff. So yeah, I will add it to the list. My name is Mud. I think that song will make for a good edit. I think I actually have an idea in my head already, kind of how to use it. So
declared in his 1790 The Marriage of Heaven and Hell that, quote, no virtue can exist without breaking these 10 commandments. Jesus was all virtue and acted from impulse, not from rules. While the article attempts to show a connection between the Revolutionary War and the rebellion of Satan, that is a bit too far-reaching to be accurate. It does give a good understanding of some of the acceptance of rebellion in the culture from the likes of Crowley, Nietzsche, and the Church of Satan founder, Anton Xander LaVey.
Okay, so I do want to kind of comment just on the idea of rebellion being satanic in nature. I completely disagree with that concept, because so there is such thing as like just rebellion. Being able to rebel against evil in and of itself would be a just use of rebellion. And also in this country, let's see, we will get back to the Smith-Mundt Act. Let's see, close that out. Let me clean some of this up so I can keep everything on track here. So in our Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, second paragraph, let's see. Oh, wait, no, not Constitution. It's the Declaration. I apologize. The U.S. Declaration. I was actually just discussing this very thing with my best friend Jesse earlier today. Is in the U.S. Declaration, there is a very important passage. Let's see, it's right here. I think this is probably the most important section of the Declaration, and it's, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We all know that section, right? Here's the most important section. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derived their just powers. That little word right there is of the utmost importance, just powers. From the consent of the governed, we, the people, give the consent for just powers to exist. We should only consent as the governed if the powers are just. If they are not just, then here's the, this is never taught in school and it needs to be, but, or I guess in home, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends. So that becomes destructive to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That whatever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall see most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That's the most important of this, or that is the most important sentence in this entire document, in my opinion, stating that we have a right to rebellion when the right of the people to alter and abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. So once an established government like the one we have now is actively working against or becomes destructive to these ends, meaning that our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which, according to the founding fathers, the pursuit of happiness, what they mean by that is the ownership of land. So, and in fact, in the original drafts of the Declaration, they were actually going to put the ownership of land, but I can't remember exactly why they changed it. We'll do a show on this, but they ended up changing it to the pursuit of happiness. So once a government becomes destructive to these ends, we have the right to alter or abolish it, period. This does not mean that we have a right to become violent. I believe that we can alter and or abolish this system without ever firing a shot. But anyways, so this right of rebellion, or rebellion only being satanic, I completely disagree with that. It is not the case. There is such thing as a just rebellion. Rebellion for the sake of rebellion, though, I believe could have its basis in Satanism, though.
Quote, and tracing the history of that rebellion brings us today to the startling conclusion that post-Christian America is an increasingly Satanist.
We are not in a post-Christian America. I believe people would like to think so. I do believe that we are also in a artificial revival of Christianity because of people like Joe Rogan and some of these other influencers, Candace, and there's a huge, for some reason on the right, the conservative influencers, like there's this huge like back to Christianity movement going, and I think that's fabricated. However, I think I think people are genuinely going back to Christ. And I think it is organic in some aspects. I think a lot of people are influenced by these conservative influencers to go back to Christianity, but with, the skull-filled Christianity, the Judeo-Christianity, these sorts of things. Like Joe Rogan was discussing, like, how come God or Jesus couldn't come back as a computer? It's like, okay, you're talking transhumanism garbage. It's not Christian, but whatever. I disagree. We live in a post-Christian America. It is definitely not a Christian nation as it was. We live in a post-moral or a post-Christian moral America. I would agree with that. Like society's ethics and morals have been utterly destroyed. We do live in a degenerate culture, but I think that's why there is a genuine move back to Christian values. And And I have true belief that good does win in the end. Although a lot of, good people will be hurt along the way, unfortunately. Damn it, come on.
But is this rebellion simply a heart for lawlessness? Or those who are captivated by the idea of living without the limitations of
There's a big difference between rebellion and degeneracy. I think what is being promoted is degeneracy, not rebellion.
a moral law, simply worshiping self? Or is there something more sinister going on that they are not even privy to? While many think that following Satanism is actually this very form of rebellion and not the literal demonic worship that it is, many do not realize that the very founders of the religion, both Aleister Crowley and Anton Szandor LaVey.
Alistair? That's weird. When I was a Satanist, I was attracted to the idea of being, in control of myself, being my own God. I wasn't really interested in becoming my own God, but I was so against the idea of authority to the point that, I viewed God himself as a tyrant. I was actually just discussing this earlier today as well, that the way it was sold to me is that the story of the Garden of Eve, or the Garden of Eden, and the story of Eve eating the apple. The way it was sold to me was that the snake that tricked Eve into eating the apple was Satan, which is true, but that was a good thing, because once Eve ate the apple, humans then gained the ability to have free will. So the way that Satanists sell you this story is that Satan was the one that gave you free will. Satan was the one that freed you from the tyranny of God. And, I look back on that now and it seems really stupid, but at the time I was convinced of this. And this is one of the big reasons why I took Satanism seriously and became a Satanist, was because of that story, because it made sense to me. That why would God not want us to have free will? And of course I know, a lot more now, but that was my question at the time. Why wouldn't God want us to have free will? And there's more, but it's the perversion of this information. It's the perversion of these stories and everything. And that's what drew me in. I knew it drew a lot of other people in as well. It's the idea of ultimate freedom, when in reality it is slavery. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual slavery. But it looks attractive, and that's the whole, Satanism, or Satan appearing to be attractive, and in actuality it's the most horrifying thing ever.
Believed in a literal Satan. Crowley explaining in his autobiography.
Okay, I didn't plan on watching this, so we'll kind of skip around. So kind of how we got here, we were discussing the Smith-Mundt Act, because earlier, The Art of the Personal Story made this comment that nothing makes sense anymore at all. It's not at all Christian. I mean, it's so far from anything that looks normal from any point of view. It's not even just that it's not Christian. It just, the world seems so odd and different, and it's confusing. And what the fuck is happening, right? That's how I feel. I think one of the largest contributors to that is the repeal or the Smith-Mundt Act, or the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 being repealed. What this does, like it said right here. So the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 was a formal repeal of U.S. domestic dissemination of propaganda, described as public diplomacy information produced for foreign audiences. Domestic propaganda has been a standard practice for decades. We were propagandized almost our entire lives, ever since the turn of the 20th century. Hence Operation Mockingbird. But the repeal allowed the effort to be ramped up. Now, ever since 2012, really, in my opinion, I think 2016 when Trump first, or 2015 when Trump first ran, I think everything has been ramped up to, it's been cranked up to 11 for a Rob Reiner reference. Like it is. In fact, I think there is something that will illustrate my point exactly. This documentary does seem pretty good, though. The history of Satan worship at the Grammys. I think we will return to this on a Satanic Panic is Real. So let me save it real quick. This does look good. Okay. So we'll come back to that, but this is my favorite example of things being so crazy. Oh, come on. Whoa, what the hell is happening here? Gonna go ahead and close that. Gonna go ahead and close that as well. What the hell? Let's see. Okay, give me just a sec to clean up some of these tabs. Apologize for this. What the hell is happening? Whoa. Okay, give me just a sec. There's some weird nonsense going on all of a sudden. I don't know how to fix this, actually. Let's see. See if this works. Yeah, there's something like strange going on. Obviously, somebody does not want me talking about this sort of stuff. Go figure. What the hell is happening, man? This is weird. Let's see if happens on something else as well. It doesn't. Well. Weird. I don't understand what is happening here. So let's see if I'm going to have to figure something else out. So basically my search, any search bar or anything that brings up the ability to type, or not just search bar, but any bar that allows the ability to type, it's like going crazy and not allowing me to type. So that is super strange. I've never had this happen before. But let's see. I think I got a workaround though. Can't stop this show. Let's see. I'll bring it up and show you guys. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Give me just a sec. I'm bringing it up to try and show you guys. Shit, it's not working. Well, I can't. Well, here, let's see. So here we go. See what I mean? Right here. Come on. Come on. So see how that's just like going and going and going? It won't it won't let me type anything, and it's just typing CH over and over and over and over and over. There we go. We go to caps, go to lowercase, caps, lowercase, caps, lowercase. I don't know what the hell is happening. But yes, the show must go on, so we will find a workaround for it. Some weird shit, man. Weird shit. Wonder. Oh, okay. Let's see. Maybe that's causing part of the problem. Let's see, turn that off. Okay, I apologize for this. Let's see, we'll quit that. Weird shit, man. Weird shit. So, has anyone ever seen the still happening? Let's see. Weird. Still going. Has anyone ever seen the Ghost in the Machine video from the U.S. Army? Let's see. I know I have it in my bookmarks. Oops. Nope. Not history. Come on. No, not history. Oh, come on. Let's see. I might. Yeah, I mean, well, I actually don't use Google. The way I have everything set up, this is probably something else, so I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I thought about doing this, stopping the stream and refreshing and then coming back. I didn't want to have to restart the stream if I don't have to, though, is the problem. I mean, I might have no choice, but give me just a sec. Let's see, there's... Okay. I mean, if I have to stop the stream and refresh and start a new one, I will definitely let you guys know that that's what's happening before I do. But I don't want to have to do that if there is no choice in the matter. Oh, hold on. I think it stopped. Oh, huh. Okay. Good news. It's not doing it anymore. Also, that's very fucking weird. It's very weird. But yeah, it seems to have stopped. Huh. That's strange. That's very strange, man. I don't know what the hell is happening. Satan heard his name. I know. Heard me talking some mad shit. Okay, so we're just going to pull this up. For anyone who has never seen this, this is wild to me. This is created by the 4th PSYOP group from the U.S. Army. Okay. It's called Ghost in the Machine. So let's watch this. Exorcise the demon. So it says here, Sun Tzu from The Art of War. If your opponent is choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. Also, I highly recommend The Art of War for anyone who's never read it.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last good night while I get
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
Target psychological.
I mean, mind you, this is a recruitment video for the PSYOP division of the U.S. Army. So that's what we're watching here.
Not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
Target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
Ammunition used by cyber.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldiers, and at the same time
Is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
but the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
We are everywhere.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
A feeling in the dark. A message in the stars. Ghosts in the machine. Psy-war. Psychological
These are the
warfare.
Psy-war soldiers.
Right? Like, damn. Okay, so now, honestly, I love that video. I think it is beautifully produced. It is so well done. The way I make my edits is entirely influenced by this video and the subsequent videos that they made following this one. Honestly, if I could make edits that looked that beautiful, which is what I'm, trying to work towards, that's the goal right there. Videos from our perspective that look that good. So, but that's Ghost in the Machine for anyone who's never seen that. Also, what the hell is up with Violent J on Kill Tony? That's fucking weird. I can't stand ICP. Anyways, that's a different discussion for another day. What was that original Ghost cartoon from? So it's actually a 1939. It's a Betty Boop cartoon. And it's actually see if I can find it. Betty Boop, Cab Calloway. So that clown is actually called Coco the Clown, Koko. I honestly, I love that clip. I've totally used it in my edits before. We'll use it again for sure. Betty Boop and Snow White. Cab Calloway sings this song. So right here, vocal chorus, St. James Infirmary Blues, sung by Cab Calloway. Let's see, where is it?
Mirror. Okay,
Face.
Yeah, there we go.
Folks, I'm going down to St. James Infirmary. See my baby there, she's stressed out on a long white table. She's so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let her go, oh bless her. Wherever she may be, she will search this wide world over, but she'll never find another sweet man like me. Now when I die, bury me in my straight leg breeches, put on a box back coat and a stud.
So this is where it's from. It's what was the year it said?
On my watch chain, so you can let all the boys know I died standing there.
I think it's like 1933. So that's the original cartoon it came from. It's kind of disturbing, honestly. I mean, like, look at the background and stuff. It's it's odd. It's really odd, you know. And then Sleeping Beauty is an odd story to choose too, because technically, or Snow White, I mean, Snow White technically dies. That's why towards the end of the Disney version of Snow White, that's why you see the castle in the sky and in the clouds and everything, and it's all bright and everything, because the witch actually tricked her into eating the apple, and the poisoned apple, killed her. So, you know, sorry to ruin everyone's, childhood. Well, that's the joke anyways. But yeah, Snow White, she actually died. So it's a super depressing Brothers Grimm story. But yeah, so 1933 Betty Boop cartoon is where that came from. I mean, I think it surged in popularity again because of that edit from Cywar. It's just some weird stuff. So to circle back, we live in a pro propaganda world right now, pro psyop. It is basically, the difference is that we were already being propagandized and psyoped, but the Smith-Mundt Act, or repealing it, allows them to crank it up to 11. Like, there's no hold barred. They can just go full bore. So I think that is the largest reason why things seem so crazy. Also, television. Okay, this is actually a good transition into what I actually wanted to talk about. Let's see here. Give me just a sec to pull this up. I have a different program. Okay. So, to look at a book, let's see if I can make this bigger for you people. Thank you for sticking with me throughout all of these technical issues and all that stuff. And I mean, we're kind of just loosey-goosey tonight. Usually other shows I'm a little bit more rigid and stuff. I just kind of wanted to have fun and hang out with you fine folks tonight, but thank you for putting up with this. Anyways, so MKUltra, mind control, and all of these other things. So channeling conscious is a key domination here on Earth. Mind control takes different forms, from the simplest to the most complex. The learning methods that shape the brain, the school and university programs that format beliefs and critical thinking are a first form of modeling the future adult that aims to make it compatible and useful to the current social system. Journalistic information and media entertainment are other factors that will influence your consciousness according to a certain model. The social pressure that makes the individual submit to what is called the single thought is also a form of mind control. The various food and environmental pollutions alter your brain and consequently your capacity for reasoning and analysis. At this point, the population still remains a semblance of free will. Every individual has the opportunity to question everything they have been taught since childhood. He can reform himself by choosing other sources, get rid of his television, change his way of feeding, lighten himself from the material world to turn to the spiritual world, etc. We could also cite the subliminal or psychotronics as tools that can influence and control the human consciousness. What will be studied in this book is a tool of slavery, where the free will of the victim no longer exists at all, or almost no longer. So before we keep going with that, the idea of mind control itself, the idea of MKUltra, right, was to literally turn people into slaves, to take away their free will. I mean, that's what that is what a Manchurian candidate essentially is a mind-controlled slave. They take away your free will, your ability to make your own decisions and to think for yourself, and force you to do something that you might not normally do. That was the whole point. And the 1973 his name just shot out of my head. The hearings that they had, the church committee hearings. Frank Church, yeah, that's a whole different story. But they meaning the CIA and the intelligence community and everything, basically came out and said that MKUltra was a failure, that they were unable to control someone's mind in the way that it was described, the way that it was exposed. That is a crock of shit. MKUltra was immensely successful. Not just being able to control somebody through chemical warfare, which is exactly what the LSD testing was, but also technologies that were developed to be able to control someone's nervous system, which, in fact, we have that evidence right. Come on, stupid mouse. We have that evidence right here in this book as well. Highly recommend this book, Project MKUltra and Mind Control Technology. It's basically just a collection of documents and patents of mind control technology. So if you like to nerd out on that sort of stuff, I can't recommend this book enough. So let's see here. Okay, right here. So behavior modification. Chapter 9, behavior modification technology. These are actual patents that you can search. All you have to do is search the patent number right here. Let's see. Come on. Okay, so the patent number 4,717,343. Method for changing a person's behavior. Like what the hell, right? Okay, let's see. What's the date? This was filed on June 30th, 1986. Who filed it? Inventor Alan B. Densky. Who the hell is that? Alan B. Densky. Oh, interesting. Some of the first stuff that pops up when you search his name is like all stuff about hypnosis. Oh, he has books. Let's see. Do-it-yourself hypnosis. Interesting. It doesn't look like you can buy it anymore. It's out of print. But it's a book called Do-It-Yourself Hypnosis, which was released on January 1st, 1982. That's wild. He doesn't have any Wikipedia page, which is kind of odd. But here you go. I mean, here is the patent. You just look up, you can look up the Google patent service. What is it? Google Patents. There we go. So method for changing. Oh, come on. Method for changing a person's behavior. I mean, how more blatant can you get? Literally, I mean, this is a piece of technology. So a method of conditioning a person's unconscious mind in order to affect a desired change in the person's behavior, which does not require the services of a trained therapist. Instead, the person to be treated views a program of video pictures appearing on the screen. What the hell? This sounds like subliminal messaging to me. I mean, it is subliminal messaging. So let's get back to, where is it? Oh, come on. See, let's just close that. There it is. Okay, so I mean, this is the patent though, right? Yeah, so a method, okay, trained. So instead, the person, come on, give me just a sec. There we go. Let's fill this in. Instead, the person to be treated views a program of video pictures appearing on a screen. The program, as viewed by the person's unconscious mind, acts to condition the person's thought patterns in a manner which alters that person's behavior in a positive way. In a positive way. You know, that's funny to me. So obviously they have to put that for, the patent office. They're not going to turn around and say, oh, this is so we can do terrible things to people, right? Like that's not going to happen. But I mean, here's one piece of technology. Now, let's see. Let's keep going. So this is the same thing. This is the actual like way that it works. So the background of the invention. So, I mean, patent documents are incredible if you're doing research on this sort of information. I cannot recommend patent documents enough. Especially like mind control and like UFO technology, which once again, I don't believe in UFO technology as being alien. I think it's something that we've created. Anyways, that's a different discussion, but yeah, patent documents, it's where it's at, really. So here's another one. Patent number 5,784,124. Title, Subliminal Method of Education with Particular Application Behavior Modification. What? Okay, so this came from a company in Colorado Springs, Colorado called Advanced Learning Corp. Advanced Learning Corporation. Good Lord, that's scary. A method of behavior modification involves having a patient view subliminal video messages superimposed upon an underlying video presentation. The video messages incorporate messages with wherein at least some of the messages link a desired modified behavior to positive feelings of the patient. A subliminal message generator and superimposer interactively selects individual messages for display from the sequence of messages, decompressing the message or messages as required, and places the selected messages in a buffer memory of a video generation device. A processor of the subliminal message generator and superimposer then fades the selected message from an invisible level to a visible level on the video display, and then fades the selected message from the visible level back to the invisible level. Whew, that is terrifying, honestly. And so this is a diagram of this technology working. So, I mean, technically, if you want to, I think it would be illegal, but you could technically copy these diagrams and create your own version of this. So this patent was filed June 11th, 1996, which aligns perfect with a lot of my generation for the gate kids, which I was a gate kid. So there we go. Let's catch up on some of this, some of your comments. Yes, of course. You guys are great. So I honestly try my best for all of you. It is very disturbing. I completely agree. Most of the original fairy tales had tragic endings. Yeah, 100%. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Yeah, exactly. It's not BC and AD, it's BI and AI, before internet, after internet. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Let's not forget that Edward Bernays wasn't Chinese or Russian, but an American. Right. This fallen world tries to make us cogs. I think we don't technically live in a fallen world. We live in a world that tries to make us believe that it is fallen, because once we believe that it is truly fallen, then there is no going back. There is no way to fix it. We lose hope, and then it actually wins, and it becomes a truly fallen world. So this kind of goes back to the rebellion thing and the power as we the people. A lot of this is why right here, I will say this right now, a black pill is a psychological weapon used against all of us. Okay. Black pills are bullshit. They are psyops. They are faking gay. Do not buy into the black pill. Okay. We still live in a world with hope. The way I know that is because if things were truly hopeless, their propaganda would be pointless. There would be no reason to try and still push their propaganda. There would be no reason for them to push the psychological warfare. None of it would be, none of it would still happen if it was truly pointless, if things were truly hopeless. The reason they're still pushing it is because they haven't successfully won yet. Now, the only way for them to actually win and win over humanity to a truly dark age, a truly dark side, an evil side, in my opinion, is if we allow them. Now, black pills are a way for them to stop any sort of meaningful resistance before it even begins. Because if you believe that things are hopeless, you're not even going to try to fix anything, because what's the point, right? Things are already hopeless, that it doesn't matter. Things are too far gone. Doesn't matter. That's what they want, because we have to give them the power to be able to do that. We, the people, regardless of what anyone wants to tell you, still have the power. And once we realize that, then we can actually come in and we can realize we still have the power. We can stop asking permission to be free people, and we can actually just be free people. A free man does not ask permission to be free. Okay? Plain and simple. This battle of intelligence, this battle of good versus evil, whatever you want to call it, right versus wrong, patriot versus tyrant, whatever you want to label it as, doesn't matter. This all begins in the home, and even more so, it begins in your mind. Once you take a black pill and believe that things are hopeless, that's it. It truly is hopeless. So, black pills are fake and gay. Do not take them. They are a psyop pushed on us. There is more hope in this world than anything else. And the perfect example is the very fact that I can look right now. There is allegedly 55 of you watching this stream right now. That gives me hope. So there is at least a guaranteed 55 of us out there in the world that don't buy into this bullshit. So there's my soapbox for the evening. Always got to have at least one. Now, I'm not saying that things are easy. I'm not saying that things are not dark. I'm not saying that things, and I'm not saying any of these things. Things are dark. Things are hard. There is a lot of evil in the world, a lot of bad, and a lot of dumb people too. But things are not hopeless, period. So there's at least 55 of us learning. 55 of us that still have hope that this stuff, this information still matters. So, period. It is not over. It is not over until the fat lady sings, and she ain't even close to singing. She doesn't sing unless we allow her to sing, and I am not going to allow her to sing. I refuse to accept this world that these psychotic people want. I refuse to live in this world. I truly do. I will truly die on my feet before I live on my knees. I mean, granted, there's a lot to this world that, I mean, we're kind of already slaves in many, many ways. But for instance, like the central banking digital currency, the CBDCs, they're trying to get us all on the digital ID stuff. I refuse to take it. I won't. I will not. I will not be getting an implant. I will not be getting a government microchip. Ain't happening. Ain't fucking happening. Anyways, once again, there's my soapbox. Now, back to why everything is so crazy. So at one point in time, the television, an amazing invention, especially for mind control programming. I mean, first of all, it's television. It's a vision, right? You can view something that's not even in around you, like something you can view something, on the opposite side of the country. It's a vision. You have channels, you're channeling something. And then on those channels, you have programming. And these words have meaning, and they were chosen for a very particular reason. It seems silly. It seems like that's a little too on the nose, but why wouldn't it be right on the nose? Right? And I don't know why it wouldn't be right on the nose, because people just believe that the word channel has nothing to do with anything, but you're channeling energies, you're channeling visions from the television, and you're being programmed. So, and I think I'm kind of preaching to the choir on all of that stuff, but I feel as though I still have to make that point. Let's see here. So the 1975 Church Committee exposed government MK, but then they gave it to the private sector. Well, sort of. I mean, the government was still in charge of a lot of MK stuff, but it allowed them to push it underground. MK, all the MK programs went, private, but private in the sense, and yes, you are correct. They did go to the private sector. You're not wrong. But the government didn't give them up. The CIA didn't stop with their power, their access. They drove it to the occult. They drove it to cults. They drove it to serial killers. This is why we see the massive spike in the 70s. Okay, we have Charles Manson that happens. That starts the satanic panic, because I think they knew that the exposure was coming. I think they knew that the church committee was eventually going to be inevitable. And they kind of do this anyways, contingency plans, right? And so they had a backup plan for it. MK was eventually exposed. So they kind of went into panic mode, destroyed most of the documents except for the financial documents. I genuinely believe that wasn't done on purpose. That was a genuine mistake. And they fucked up hard, because without those original financial documents, we would know nothing about what we know today. Now, who exposed them, I think, was a little bit more planned. But the fact that those documents existed at all, I do believe was a genuine mistake. They would have destroyed them if they would have thought about it. But I think they knew it was coming, so they had a contingency plan for this. Also, MKUltra did end in the 70s. In 73, it did end, because MKUltra was the R&D, was the research and development of these techniques, of these programs. So it ended. They didn't need to finish research, or they didn't need to continue research and development. They needed to take the programs and the techniques and everything they learned, and they needed to turn it live. They needed to release it and allow it to do what they wanted it to do, which is exactly what happened. In the 70s, we see an explosion of cults. We see an explosion. We see the golden age of the serial killer. We see the golden age of Operation Mockingbird in the media. Even the coverage of the church committee hearings is wild. You know, it's like, I don't know, but this is, MK did end in 73. It turned into something else. They moved the finance around, and it turned into what Dave McGowan has appropriately labeled as Phoenix Come Home, or Gladio 2.0, or Gladio B, as I've heard it called before too. So in my opinion, once again, to go back to the Art of the Personal Stories comment from earlier, that nothing makes sense anymore, I believe this is why. We live in an MK world. We live in a world where they want us as slaves, and the best way to do that is to be able to take away our free will by programming us, which is why, like, there's still, to this day, there's still so many people stuck in the left-right paradigm of conservative and Democrat, or conservative and liberal or Democrat and Republican, like, even though like it's so in our face and so blatant that everything is such a joke, that it's all that everything is so blatant, and there are still people who refuse to wake up from the brainwashing, the propaganda. I don't blame them 100%. I mean, this is some serious stuff. This is some hardcore stuff that they've been working on for over 100 years at this point. 100 and, well, I mean, they've been working on it for, forever almost, but it's like what we know as MK today, they've been working on consistently for, well, about 126 years now. So that's kind of where we're at. This is why things seem so crazy. They are self-manifesting it, right? This is also the Satanism thing. They are self-manifesting the crazy world by making us think that it's crazy, and therefore we respond to a crazy world, self-manifesting the crazy world. And what my point about the television was, our televisions are now our phones that we carry everywhere. We can't live a life without a phone. Good luck trying to get a job or anything without an email now. It's wild. But that's why it's even worse, because at some point people would turn off their TV. So people would leave their house and then the TV stays home. Not anymore. The mind control goes with us everywhere. The tracking device goes with us everywhere. So these patents are now refined, reinvented, and turned into this thing. This is an iPhone right here. I also have an Android that runs Graphene OS, by the way. For anyone that's interested in that sort of privacy stuff, it's something of a hobby of mine, so I am more than willing to teach anybody. But this iPhone that I use, this is a military-grade technology that is beamed directly at our head every day. We have to use our phones every day to stay in contact with people, to get jobs, right now, the technology I'm using to communicate with all of you fine people is also technology that is being used against us. But here's where the hope comes in, at least for me. So let me know, if this also gives you guys hope. These same techniques, the same technology, in my opinion, the technology itself is neutral. It's those in which who control it and those in which who use it, and for what means they use it, is what makes it evil, good, bad, whatever it may be. For instance, it's just like any other inanimate object. A firearm is a perfect example. It can be a tool. It can be used to feed your family. It can be used to protect your family. It can be used as a form of sporting. It can be used as a form of protection from a tyrannical government. It can be used as a protection from a woodland creature. You're out in the woods, grizzly bear charging you. It can be used to save your ass. But it can also be used in some of the most horrific crimes of modern era. Mass shootings, school shootings, suicides. I mean, the same tool, the same technology can be used for ultimate good and ultimate bad. And I feel as though that this technology can be used for good and bad, depending on who wields the sword. So I'm trying to use this technology to wield it for good. I'm trying to use it to spread the information about the bad in order for you guys to be able to protect yourselves, also to be able to teach other people, so that we can take what we learn here, take it out to the world, and fight back against what we're dealing with. This is why I say that black pills are fake and gay. Do not ingest the black pill. Fuck the black pill. Do not take it. Take the white pill, because the very fact that we are even here listening to this, the very fact that I'm able to do this, signifies that there's still hope. It's not going to be easy, but with your guys' help, I believe that we can make a dent in it and we can make some serious change. So there's my my last soapbox for the evening. Let's get back into some of this before we wrap up and get out of here for the night. So patent number 6,258,022B1. Patent date, July 10th, 2001. What else happened that year? Interesting. It's just, this patent is simply titled Behavior Modification. Inventor, John Edward Rose. Okay, the patent was actually filed July 14th, 1997. They didn't review it until January 15th of 1999. Wasn't approved until July 10th, 2001. So, I mean, it's old technology. Took them almost 20 years to get it almost 20 years to get it passed and accepted and everything. So the abstract of this is behavior modification of a human subject takes place under hypnosis. Interesting. I thought MKUltra failed. Anyways, when the subject is in a relaxed state, a machine plays back a video of audio or audio recording during which the subject is instructed to activate a device to create a perceptible stimulation, which is linked through the hypnosis with a visualization or of enhanced or improved performance. After the hypnosis, the user can reactivate the device at will whenever the improved performance, such as an improved sporting performance, is desired. This will again create the perceptible stimulation and thus induce the required visualization. I mean, every time I read stuff like this, I just envision a Clockwork Orange, you know? So that's just kind of all I see. We're not going to go through all of these, but I'm showing these to hopefully drive home the point that this technology most certainly exists. It's out there. It is being used by people in the private sector, and the government pays private citizens to be able to develop this sort of technology so that the government itself can purchase it or just flat out steal it. They've totally done that before too. Sometimes these people are working on behalf of the government. So, you know, the government or the intelligence community is really how I should state that. The intelligence community works above board, on board, and below board. They will do whatever it takes to get whatever means or to reach whatever, what am I trying to say? They will use whatever means necessary to reach whatever end goal they have, period. So sometimes they do perform their intelligence work above board. Luckily for us, because without that, we would not know quite as much as we do. Therapeutic behavior modification program, compliance monitoring with feedback system. God, that sounds horrific. And see there's a diagram once again. Let's see here. Okay, so chapter 10, nervous system manipulation. This is the famous one that everyone is aware of, everyone knows. Okay, so this is an old patent, August 8th, 1961, patent number 2,995,633. Yeah, an old patent. Let's see, means for aiding hearing. So a hearing aid, right? Sound vibration, there you go. It's a hearing aid, right? How could that possibly be used for mind control? Well, they could tap into all sorts of frequencies and be able to relay messages into your brain without your conscious brain even picking it up. Your subconscious mind picks it up, and they're able to program you to do horrible things or to think horrible things. I mean, really, they could do whatever they want. Means for aided hearing. Okay, this one, I mean, to say that I have a favorite one is kind of odd, but this one I think is important. Patent number 3,156,787. Date November 10th, 1964. Solid state hearing system. So you have an RF transmitter. Okay, so you have a transmission unit, and the receiver is implanted onto your teeth. Now, this is something that's always bothered me, is the idea, okay, it's like a joke, right? A joke that's, you can see it in all sorts of media, but the crazy homeless guy that says, oh, the CIA is listening to me through my teeth, right? Or they'll say some, just some off the wall shit like that, right? The CIA is speaking to me through my teeth. Well, I mean, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to point to because finding examples of this is actually really difficult, but it happens that examples like that exist. These people are always portrayed as the worst crazy people ever. Turns out this type of technology actually exists, and it's very real, and it's very old. This patent was filed on October 23rd, 1962. It was approved November 10th, 1964. Imagine that. There's a RF transmitter, transmits a message. An implant is implanted into the teeth or in the mouth of the victim or target, and the receiver picks up the message from the transmitter, and the CIA can actually discuss things with you through your teeth. It sounds crazy, but this technology exists. That's one edit that I'm going to be working on. I am always on the lookout. So if anybody ever sees an example of what I just explained of a crazy homeless guy saying the CIA does this or that, please, for the love of God, send it to me. I am trying to make a super clip of all of these examples in media, movies, TV shows, music video. It doesn't matter, video games. If you find an example of a crazy homeless guy or some crazy person, the CIA doing this or that, please send it to me. I'm trying to make a super cut of all of it. Let's see here. Here's another one too. Means for aiding hearing by electrical stimulation of the facial nerve system. That's wild. So once again, CIA talking to you through your teeth. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. Method for obtaining neuropsychological effects. A method and apparatus for obtaining neuropsychological effects on the central and or peripheral system of a patient. Electrodes are suitably positioned on the body of the patient, and a composite electric signal is applied to the electrodes. The composite signal is formed by the superpositioning of two signals. A first signal, which is rectified high-frequency carrier modulated in amplitude to about 100% by sustainably square-shaped pulses whose duration, amplitude, and frequency are chosen according to the neuropsychological effects desired. And the second signal, which has the relatively white noise spectrum. This means the value of the first electric signal has a predetermined sign, which is opposite the sign of the mean value of the second electrical signal. Whew. Okay, so let's see if I can explain this. So method for obtaining neuropsychological effects. I mean, this would be able to control someone. If I understand this correctly, they would be able to literally mind control you through a microchip. So your nervous system would receive a certain electrical signal. And for instance, you have the brain chip implanted in you. They send a signal to you and you raise your arm or you punch somebody in the mouth. All of this through a microchip, basically. That's some scary shit right there. And what was the date on this? This was approved on September 17th, 1974. It was filed September 21st, 1972. So, I mean, this is old technology. This is really old technology. Let's see. I want to get to the one that everyone points to all the time. Noise generator, transmitter, audio. Let's see. Come on. The one I'm looking for. Magnetic. No, not the one. Let's see. Okay. Pulsative manipulation of nervous systems. We're getting closer. I think it's the next one. Let's see. Pulse variability. No. Come on. Where is it? Let's see. What is this? Remote magnetic manipulation of nervous system. Oh, God. So it's now moved to remote technology. Okay, here we go. Here's the one that everyone always points to. It's so blatant. So patent number US 6,506,148B2. Date of patent approval, January 14th, 2003. It was filed June 1st, 2001. Titled Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors. Okay. So just look at the diagram. I mean, what do you think that is? This is a nervous system manipulation through monitors, or nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. Okay, so the abstract. Psychological effects have been observed in a human subject in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near a half hertz to 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields or sufficient amplitudes to cause such an excitation. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video system either as a RF signal or as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory responses in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. Like, I mean, it's just, it couldn't get more blatant. Look at that shit, you know? I mean, it shows the monitor, it shows the devices that actually do this, and it shows the VCR. I mean, if this is not, let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. Come on. There we go. Come on. It's running a little slow. Let's see. Let's close this real quick. Let's pull this up. Okay. Trigger warning for anyone who's never seen this movie real quick, but you know, it's totally this.
Films I would. Where I was taken to, brothers, was like no cine I ever visited before. I was bound up in a straitjacket, and my Gulliver was strapped to a headrest with like wires running away from it. Then they clamped like lid locks on my eyes so that I could not shut them, no matter how hard I tried. It seemed a bit crazy to me, but I let them get on with what they wanted to get on with. If I was to be a free young Malchik again in a fortnight's time, I would put up with much in the meantime, oh my brothers. So far, the first film was a very good professional piece of cine, like it was done in Hollywood. The sounds were real horror show. You could sluice you the screams and moans, very realistic. And you could even get the heavy breathing and panting of the tall-chopping Malchiks at the same time. And then what do you know? Soon our dear old friend, the red vino on tap, the same in all places like it's put out by the same big firm, began to flow. It was beautiful. It's funny how the colors of the real world only seem really
this
real
movie
when you
is
figure them
absolutely amazing. My personal opinion is that this is Kubrick's attempt at exposing a lot of this information and the ability to do this, the people's desire to do this. I think this is what A Clockwork Orange. I think that once he made the movie, that's what the purpose was. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I mean, he did run in these circles. So maybe it's like a revelation of the method thing. Maybe I'm completely wrong about it, but there's just something that tells me him making this was him trying to expose it, much like Eyes Wide Shut. Was him trying to expose that as well. That's just my personal opinion, though. So, he was definitely offed by the establishment. He crossed far too many lines, including exposing things that the elite do.
put down to all the rich food and vitamins.
This is
But I tried to
why
forget
Eyes Wide Shut was his
concentrating
last
on the
movie.
next film.
And this is also why before or after he died, they removed 25 minutes of that movie of his. I mean, I said this to somebody the other day. It's like, could you imagine The Shining with a random 25 minutes just removed from The Shining? I mean, what did they take out? What did they feel so threatened by that they had to not only make sure that he had no say in it, but they had to remove it so it never saw the light of day? So I 100% believe that he was offed by the establishment, and that it was on purpose to hide whatever he was exposing. So that's my opinion on it. Oh yeah, Kubrick knew a lot. He was also a brilliant man. He was incredibly intelligent. There'll never be another man like him. There will never be another filmmaker like him. He was a one of a kind, once in a lifetime type person. Yes, Jacob, I have heard they removed 40 minutes from Eyes Wide Shut. And so the consistent number I've always heard was about 25. So, I mean, they very well could have removed more. Hell, they could even say that it was 25 and actually removed 40 for all we know. However, whatever they removed, I guarantee was destroyed forever, and we'll never know what they took out of that movie. Anyway, so this is the central nervous system manipulation. I think this is a perfect example of these types of technology. And here's the thing is they are going to run tests, or they're going to develop these technologies, and they're going to test them long before they ever submit a patent. So, I mean, just think of the horrific experiments on people that were done to get these patents, even to a patent office to begin with. It just chills me to the bone. So back to really what I wanted to talk about was, the mind control stuff. I mean, this has all kind of been mind control in a roundabout way, but so what will be studied in this book is a tool of slavery, where the free will of the victim no longer exists at all, or almost no longer. I think it's more of a trick to think that we no longer have free will. It's an illusion. It's a magic trick. Although excluding the actual implants where they're manipulating our nervous system, that's actually taking away the free will. Hypnosis is closer to actually taking it away, but we can we can fight back against hypnosis. Most people can, anyways. An electronic computer implant, I don't think we can actually fight back against that sort of stuff, which is why things like Neuralink is a flat out no for me, dog. You ain't getting a brain chip implant in me, because I don't feel like we could actually fight back against that. It is about mental control based on trauma and the manipulation of the psychic world, a process initiated from early childhood. Mind control, or mind control, MK programming, can be defined as a systematic torture, blocking the victim's ability to become aware of the treatment inflicted. Suggestions and conditioning are used to implant thoughts and directives in the subconscious, usually in new identities, dissociated or alter personalities, artificially created by extreme or repetitive traumas, forcing the victim by a natural mechanism of brain protection to act, feel, think, or perceive things as the programmer wishes. The aim is to have the victim execute instructions without his or her being aware of them. The installation of these MK programs rely on the victim's ability to disassociate himself deeply. Very young children who already have serious dissociative disorders are therefore first choice candidates for programming. Now we're going to skip ahead. So, chapter 1, mind control from simple to complex. Give me a sec to wet my whistle. All right, we're nearing the end of what we'll be able to cover today, but I will tell you this: we are coming back to this book. This will be used. We'll go through many parts of this book because of the information found therein. So, a quote is the best way to start this chapter. Individual influence or social influence fascinates and frightens. The terrible various facts attributed to him, collective suicides, ritual crimes, as well as disturbing scientific studies, works on hypnosis, experimental studies on conformism or submission to authority, affirm the existence of an almost irresistible force that could push us to do or think things that we would not want, a force that could even lead us to our loss. There is, with the influence, the idea of an intrusion, of a real rape of conscience, of will, which seems to be able to pass under the control or will of another. It is no longer oneself who wants or who acts. It is the will of another that has entered into oneself, and it is another who acts through oneself. Feeling of possession. Stephanie Lorenz, The Dangers of Mental Manipulation. Let me, I want to look up that source real quick. See if I can find a copy of it. The Dangers of Mental Manipulation. Sorry, give me just a sec. Mental manipulation. Manipulation. Okay. No, nothing there, but that doesn't mean doesn't exist. The psychological dangers of marketing from Psychology Today. That's kind of interesting. Interesting. That would be an interesting read, maybe for another episode. Psychology Today is kind of an interesting outlet if people have never really dove through it. It's kind of a good outlet because, like, for instance, with the false memory stuff, they will publish things from both sides of the argument. So I find that incredibly interesting. Lorenz, Stephanie Lorenz, Laurens. Sorry, doing a little research live time. Okay, so there are different types of mind control. There is a large-scale control, mass control, and individual control that focuses on a single subject. It can be direct and violent or indirect and non-violent. This is called silent or invisible war, Psy-war. In mass mind control, individuals generally retain their free will, generally being the key word, retain their free will, while the most complex individual mind control will completely suppress it. Through biology, neurology, and applied psychology, sorcerer controllers have achieved an advanced knowledge of the human being, both biologically and psychologically. This system has come to know the human being better than the human knows himself, which means that he holds a great power of control over individuals because the most effective way to conquer a man is to capture his mind. Control a man's mind, and you will control his body. Let's see. Control a man's mind, you will control his body. Not all men have the same thoughts, but all think with the same mechanism, the brain. Mass or individual mind control can also be called hard or gentle mind control, direct or indirect, active or passive. Military type brainwashing is the active and direct method, while television type brainwashing is the passive and indirect method. Certainly the most effective, due to the fact that the victims are unaware of what is happening to them and tirelessly and voluntarily continue their brainwashing. The mind control of the masses. I think this is one of the largest problems in our society today, largely because, like it was explaining, most people don't even understand that it's happening to them. They voluntarily allow it to continue. And largely they do it themselves. This was the purpose of the development of television. Yeah, this is interesting. COVID-19 flashbacks. No kidding. Here's something interesting. Speaking of COVID-19, think about this. Okay. There is now technology, flock security cameras. Okay. In fact, I'm just going to pull this up in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Security. So, in fact, go make sure and follow Jason Bassler on X. In fact, I'm just going to go to him right now. Sorry, give me just a sec. It'll be worth it, I promise. Jason, where are you? Friend of the show, Jason Bassler. We need to get him back on the show to discuss some of this stuff for sure. And in fact, I was actually on the Free Thought Project, one of my most proud appearances so far. Let's see. So flock security. Here we go. Okay. Let me close a couple of those. Let's close this real quick. We'll bring it back. Here we go. Okay, so these flock security cameras that seem to be everywhere now, right? I'm sure you've seen them around your neighborhood. They literally are all over the nation now. Let's see here. This is typically what they look like, right? They've got these long black poles with a solar panel at the top, and they've got these super advanced license plate camera readers is typically how they're sold to people. However, they can do a lot more than just read your license plate and be super accurate. They have facial recognition capabilities, and they also have the ability to listen to people up to 2 football fields away. So 200 yards away, which is insane. I mean, 200 yards away, that is wild. So they can hone in on you from that far away. Flock safety isn't just tracking your license plates anymore. They're new Raven mics, once sold as gunshot detectors. Of course, everything sold initially is a good idea. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, isn't it? Now analyze human voices and distress sounds, scanning public spaces and alerting police in real time. They're not just watching. Now they're listening too. I mean, look, also, the Flock has drones and all sorts of stuff. And mind you, this information is public. So police don't need a warrant to access any of this. Just so you guys are aware. Oh, come on. There we go. So yeah, this Flock security camera stuff, Flock off. That's funny. This stuff is truly terrifying in my opinion. I mean, this is the slow creep of a dystopian cyberpunk, 1984-esque nightmare. It's just horrid. And we're just like walking straight into it. And honestly, most people don't even know what they are. So that's even worse in my opinion. In fact, this is an important post regarding Flock. So this is Flock Safety's CEO, Garrett Langley, just called the transparency activists at deflock.me terrorist. So if mapping cameras is terrorism, what do we call mass surveillance of millions of innocent drivers? So this website, deflock.me, is a service that is going through and independently mapping the entire Flock system everywhere that they have popped up. You can go download the service on iOS or Android. You can also use just a computer browser or whatever. But you go and you submit a Flock camera to their database and they upload it, and it's an interactive map and it's beautiful. I love this sort of thing. This is what freedom is about. But this guy, this piece of shit, Garrett Langley, let's hear what he has to say.
And then unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFLOC.
Terroristic organizations. What the hell is wrong with you, dude?
And then unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFLOC, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else. And that, I think, is unfortunate because we don't want chaos, or I don't want chaos. I like law and order. I like a society that has a bedrock of safety. So for those groups, I think it's just disappointing that they haven't chosen a more constructive mannerism to try to get what they want, which they have a right to have. But that's why we have a democratically elected process, right? Like we're not forcing Flock on anyone. Elected officials know that as a community, you want to be safe. As a family, you want to be safe. And Flock is the best way to create a safe community.
I'm not sure DFLOC would agree with the terroristic label that you put on them, but okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to live in a free society, not necessarily a safe society. Granted, I don't want to live in chaos either, right? I don't think any of us do. But I am not about to trade my freedom for safety because it never works that way. It never works. Anyways, the point of me bringing this up, okay? Let me get a picture of these cameras. So these cameras, okay, they have facial recognition capabilities now. So COVID-19 flashbacks, right? Why were we as a people asked to stand 6 feet apart? Why was that? I do not believe that it was for no reason. What I'm getting at is my personal opinion. I believe there's a lot of evidence to back this up. Maybe I'll do an episode just on this, but I believe that the reason we were told to stand 6 feet apart was because this was a rollout of facial recognition software nationwide. And to be able to train these models, we had to stand a certain distance apart from each other for it to be able to accurately read us without getting confused. So by us being asked to stand 6 feet apart, and anyone that complied with that at any point in time, and I'm not making a judgment call, I'm not saying anything good or bad, it was some hardcore propaganda. I fell for some of it, so I'm not saying anything about that. I'm not gonna lie, they had me in the first half. That they all got us at some point or another. It was hardcore propaganda. I don't fault anyone for it, although I do fault people for still believing in it today. That's 100% their fault. But I believe they were training these facial recognition softwares when they were asking us to stand 6 feet apart. The reason why we were wearing masks at the time, okay? But the way that facial recognition software works is it detects the eyes. So that's how they trained it. They trained this facial recognition software on everyone's eyes with everyone standing 6 feet apart. So, talk about COVID-19 flashbacks. Let's see here. Here we go. There we go. So let's see, where were we? It is not only the victims of the MK. I don't know why you said the MK Ultra. It's not only victims of MK Ultra, an American program on individual mind control, Chapter 3, who are programmed, but the whole world subjected to a form of mind control. For example, we have been programmed to believe that our political leaders are men of honor and loyalty with great respectability because of the social status they hold, while our current government elites are only corrupt, psychopathic child rapists and cocaine addicts. Wow, yeah, 100% accurate. Individuals who bathe in the darkest occultism. The death of a child or the use of a human slave reduced to the state of a robot does not make them hot or cold. Does this deliberately affirmative or provocative statement shock you? Does this erode your paradigm? Perhaps you will close this book here to protect the image you have of the world in which you live. This would be a completely natural defensive reaction, the instinctive preservation of your paradigm. The now famous parable of the matrix in which we are immersed is very accurate. People are permanently connected to a current, keeping them in a safe and infantilizing waking dream. The function of our brain, our mind, our emotions, and even our spiritual world is perfectly known by the architects of control, who only have to press this or that button to trigger this or that reaction. An important principle of mind control is distraction. Distraction makes it possible to focus on consciousness on one or more of the 5 senses, sight, touch, hearing, smell, and taste, in order to program in parallel the subconscious. This principle applies as much in magic tricks as in the state of propaganda, marketing, and advertising. The second principle of mind control that accompanies the first is repetition. The combination of distraction and repetition is highly effective in programming the human subconscious. Television, radio, various and varied circuses, entertainment, and variety are all directed to your subconscious. The art of propaganda is to address your subconscious directly, and this art is now become a real science applied on a large scale. Human beings need entertainment, indeed, but we only see today that what is offered to us all the time on television, with reality television, for example, is more of a sabotage of consciousness than an innocent game of bloaty, of belote. I don't know what that is. Men submit to mind control because they are born into it. The science of social engineering, the analysis of automation of a society that works on mass control, sets up manipulation, domination, and oppression in a progressive way so that people can never be able to see it coming. This is the famous allegory of the frog in a pot of water that heats up. If you immerse a frog in very hot water, it will react very quickly to escape from it. Whereas if we immerse it in cold water and gradually heat this water until it boils, the frog will get used to the temperature it will numb, and it will no longer have the strength to save itself. It will end up being scalded. This is a good illustration of the phenomenon of habituation that leads to not reacting to a serious situation, and our modern society is totally numb in this matrix, whose boiling point does not seem very far away. So we are at almost 3 hours. I know we're just getting right into the very first chapter of television and everything, but I think this is a perfect point to stop for the evening, stop for the weekend. This is where we will pick back up when we come back to this subject. So, yeah, I think this is a great place to leave off for the evening. Plus, I don't want to abuse your guys' time. You guys were so wonderful in hanging out with me, talking with me, and coming to learn. And I'm coming to learn from you guys as well, and also putting up with all of my nonsense, right? So I don't want to take advantage of that too much. So 3 hours, it's pretty good. Also, we've gone over a lot of stuff tonight, a lot of intense information. So, I don't want to be able to abuse that. I want you guys to be able to come back. So let's see. Hold on. Sorry, having an issue here. Another connection issue. So I'm actually so somebody said, go grab some dinner and keep reading, bro. Actually, I'm not opposed to doing something like that. However, with the computer issues I'm dealing with and stuff, I am going to call it here. Not because I want to, though, but if I get the time this weekend, I will do another stream. Maybe Sunday. I'm not going to make any promises, but we will be doing another show on Monday. It will be another segment of the Laurel Canyon series that I've been working on. So make sure and tune in for that, because that will be interesting. But I am going to go do a very specific type of scan on my computer. It basically allows me to see if anyone is tapped into my system itself, because I'm a little curious at this point. So, but we will pick back up on this subject because I think it's incredibly important. So, I mean, CIA mind control has definitely changed our society forever. And that was really the premise for tonight's conversation. MKUltra, there is a pre-MKUltra world and there is a post-MKUltra world. And we are definitely living in a post-mind control world. So basically, we have to learn how to effectively live in this world without being tripped up by this technology and by all the traps that are set for us. I mean, honestly, the fact that you guys are even here to begin with is a very great sign that you guys are going to be a lot harder to catch. So I want to make it so it's damn near impossible for us to be able to be caught. Because once again, we are the ones with the power in all of this. This is our country. This is our life. This is our souls. We have the power, and they only have the genuine power once we give in to them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want any of you to do that. I don't want future generations to do that. So I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to make it damn near impossible. If they do get us, I want to make sure that they fucking earn it. They are going to have to fight so hard to get me they are going to earn it. It is not going to be easy with me. And I want to make sure same thing goes for all of you fine people. So once again, thank you so much for joining in. Make sure and go to the Rise to Liberty master link where you can go find all sorts of fun platforms. Make sure and follow me on multiple platforms. There's no guarantee that I will always have a YouTube or that I will have a an X, Twitter, whatever, or a Rumble for that matter. So go check out risetoliberty.store. Go pick you up some sweet merch. I've got some sweet more merch coming tonight, so it will be live tomorrow. Check that out. Go ahead, hit the like, share, subscribe, all of these things. Head on over and donate if you possibly can to the coffee fund. I need as much caffeine as possible to keep this going, to keep bringing you guys as much research as possible. Donate one time or monthly for as low as $5 over on Ko-Fi and Buy Me a Coffee. Donate straight to PayPal, Cash App, all of these places. I accept Bitcoin, and Monero is my favorite. So if you have that, let me know. You can find my contact information at the bottom of the list. There is an email for you to be able to contact me if you would like, or send me a message on X. Don't message me on Instagram. I mean, not that I won't answer it, but it will take a while. So if you want a response from me, get a hold of me on Twitter or through email. And on that, I just got to thank all of you guys. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode. I mean, this was great. I had a lot of fun. The next episode, like I said, will, if I can on Sunday, I will do a stream on Sunday. No promises. But the next guaranteed scheduled stream will be on Monday, 5:30 p.m. Mountain, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we have Already Dead over on the No Way Jose and the Underclass podcast channel. That's at 7:30 p.m. Mountain, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then the next for Rise to Liberty will be on Wednesday, which is a continuation of the Satanic Panic is Real series. And boy, do I have something pretty wild planned for this Wednesday. So make sure and tune in to that. Other than that, until next time, stay free, my friends.